Hi everyone, my name is Telmo and I'm currently working as a volunteer for Vision Norfolk. Together we'll be launching a series of videos entitled Did You Know? On these videos we'll be covering third-party apps and accessibility features specifically designed for visual impairments. These can be used on both Android and iOS, and you'll be able to use them on your mobile phone or on your tablet. The aim of these videos is just so that you learn a little bit more on how this tech can work for you. Hope you enjoy them, and let's dive in, shall we? Okay, so today we'll be covering accessibility features on Android phones, and the phone I'm going to be using is an S21 Plus. I tend to go for large screen phones, and that's because the larger the screen is, the bigger things can become. So, this is how a screen would come from factory. And the first thing I would do in this case would be to kind of like adapt the screen in a way that I can actually see what I'm doing and navigate through the screen. Okay, so the first thing I would do is I would scroll down from the top and then scroll down again, and then we come to this menu here, and at the bottom there's a little line, and we can adjust the brightness of the screen as much as we want. So brightness is the first thing. And brightness is important because I suffer from photophobia, and anything that's too bright is going to affect the way I see things, and the brighter it is, the less I can see. Next thing I would do, again, and this is to do with brightness and how light or dark things are, is I would look for something called dark mode. Now in this menu here, if I swipe to the right and swipe again, dark mode is just there. It's a little icon with the moon on, and if I turn that on, all of a sudden my screen is dark, and everything with regards to menus and even apps, they become darker. Okay, now any Android phone these days will have a dark mode, so you just need to look for that symbol there and you'll be able to activate that. The next thing I would do is I would go into settings. So I'll jump out of this and go into settings, which is just at the bottom there. And as you can see at the moment, all the fonts are, really small, so really unreadable. And I would look for something called accessibility, just there, right? And in this menu you can change several things. First thing I'm going to talk about is visibility enhancements. And this is what's going to change most of the things that have to do with fonts on your screen. Okay, so you have got high contrast theme right there, and you can change that to any type you want. So it's just a case of experimenting with it. I don't tend to use it. You've got high contrast fonts, so you can use that. So my fonts become clearer on the screen. You've got color inversion, so this is again something that can change the color on your screen. So if you don't like the scheme that you've got at the moment, you can invert that. I'm going to leave it at dark. And down here at the bottom, you've got font size and style. Okay, so font size and style, you can make your fonts really large, like so. And I tend to have mine just above the middle. I find that works well for me. Another thing that I do is I put bold text on. So bold font, just there, take that. And all of a sudden everything is thicker on the screen. Right, so that's working well. The next thing I want to talk about is wallpapers. So as you can see, my wallpapers at the moment are really bright, and things don't really jump out to me. So things like apps and such, they don't really jump out. I can't really see them that well. And to overcome this, what I do is I tend to have a black or a dark wallpaper, both on my lock screen and on my home screen. And I'll show you how to do that just now. So if we look for wallpaper and we go onto that, and you can see now here I've got my wallpapers. These are the ones that I'm currently using. And I can change these by going to my wallpapers, and then I can choose from the ones from factory, but I can also download some, and I've got some that I've used before, and I tend to use this one here, and I can set that as a wallpaper. I can set it as just home screen, just lock screen, or lock screen and home screens all together. And this is what I'm going to be using. Okay, so lock screen and home screen. Click that. And there you go. And now, for some reason that didn't work. Let me just check again. Wallpaper. My wallpapers downloaded. There you go. So that is working now, and that's changed. So as you can see, from all those things that we changed, my apps all of a sudden became bigger. The fonts on the screen are bigger. Everything is bolder, everything is larger, and I can see this screen much better. Now I can really dive into other things. So next thing I want to talk about is talkback. So if I go into settings again, I look for accessibility, and I go into talkback. And this is basically a screen reader. It will read everything that's on the screen for you. Okay, and now when you turn talkback on, you'll have to allow it.
Talkback on. Talkback. Navigate up. Button. Double tap to activate. Double tap and hold to long press.
There you go. And once you activate talkback, the gestures on your screen are slightly different. So instead of scrolling with one finger, you'll have to scroll with two fingers. So if I want to scroll down, two fingers on the screen, and I can scroll down, I can scroll up. And you get a prompt as well. You get an audible prompt. You can listen to that really and see where you are on the screen. And if I want to move between apps or boxes or text, all I've got to do is swipe right to go down with one finger.
Talkback. Talkback on.
And swipe
Switch.
up.
Double
Swipe
talkback.
left to go up.
Navigate up. Button.
There you go.
Talkback.
And what I'll do is I'll give you a brief description of what talkback is. Actually, I'll let it do it for me.
Talkback. Set. When talkback is on, it provides spoken feedback so that you can use your device without looking at the screen. Talkback is intended for people who have difficulty seeing the screen, or situations where seeing the screen may be difficult. How to use talkback. Swipe right or left to move between items. Double tap to activate an item. Drag two fingers to scroll. How to turn off talkback.
There you go.
Set
You get the idea.
on. Talkback. Navigate up. Button.
So
Double tap to activate.
if you really wanted to turn talkback off, there's two ways of doing it as well. And you can go into the settings, accessibility, and then talkback, and then toggle it off. The easiest way is if you press and hold your volume up and down buttons just at the side of the phone, and you press and hold for 3 seconds.
Talkback off.
And there you go, talkback is now off. And the last thing I want to talk about is text messages. So if I go onto my messages, you'll tend to find that they're quite small. So normally they're really tiny. What you can do is you can use two fingers and pinch to zoom out, and you can adapt text size to your liking and go as large as you want or as small as you want. So one last thing I want to talk about is magnifier. So your screen can be magnified at any point in time, and you can also add it as a shortcut onto your actual main screen, and I'll show you how to do that now. So we go on into settings, you look for your accessibility just there, and then you go on to visibility enhancements, and then magnification. Okay, so you click on magnification, and you can see here it says magnification shortcut. So I toggle that on, I accept that, and now if I go into my main screen, you can see right at the bottom there's a little shortcut with a little person. You can click that and all of a sudden my screen becomes magnified, and if I touch it with one finger I can navigate my screen like so. And this will work on your home screen, on your apps, everything really. So there we go. We covered the basics on accessibility features, and now we can make smart devices work for us. And I will be doing some more of these, so join me for the next one. And until then, take care.